All right, let's just get right into it. If you've spent any time at all in the fitness world, you've heard the arguments. Carbs are the enemy? No, wait. Carbs are essential fuel. Carbs make you fat? No, they help you build muscle. It's enough to make your head spin, honestly. So today, we are going to cut right through all that noise.
We're here to answer one single massive question. Are carbohydrates the foe that's sabotaging all your hard work, or are they actually the powerful friend your body has been crying out for?
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the real basics of how that food on your plate becomes fuel. We'll look at how your body stores that energy for later, and oh yeah, we're going to debunk some huge myths about insulin. Then we get to the good stuff, the practical side. What carbs to eat, when's the best time, and how to figure out the right amount just for you.
Okay, first things first. It doesn't matter if you're eating a sweet potato, a banana, or a bowl of oatmeal. Your body sees those carbohydrates and has one main goal in mind: turn them into energy.
And that energy has a name: glucose. The best way to think about glucose is like high-octane gasoline for your body. It is the simplest, easiest to use fuel for your cells. I mean, your brain loves this stuff and your muscles demand it during a workout. So when you eat carbs, they get broken down into glucose, which then hops into your bloodstream ready to be put to work.
Now, here's the thing. Not all carbs release their fuel at the same speed. Simple carbs, they're like throwing kindling on a fire. You get a big, fast whoosh of energy, but it burns out real quick. On the other hand, complex carbs are like a big, solid log. They break down slowly, giving you that nice, steady, sustained energy. And look, one isn't bad and the other isn't good. They're just different tools for different jobs.
You know, your body is incredibly smart. It is not going to let any of that precious fuel go to waste. So what happens to the glucose you don't need for energy, like right now? Well, it stores it for later.
And this stored fuel is called glycogen. Basically, your body takes all these individual glucose molecules and links them together. The best analogy? It's your body's own internal rechargeable battery pack. This is the energy you dip into when you're working out. If you've ever hit the wall during a long run, yeah, what you've really done is completely drain this battery.
So, where are these batteries kept? Well, the vast majority is stored exactly where you'd want it, right in your muscles. We're talking about 400 grams of fuel ready to go, specifically for physical activity. Then there's a smaller stash, about 100 grams, kept in your liver, which helps keep your blood sugar stable all day long.
Okay, this one is huge. You can't talk about carbs without someone bringing up insulin. And for decades, insulin has been painted as this evil villain that grabs every carb you eat and shoves it directly into your fat cells. That is just not its main job, not even close.
Let me tell you what actually happens. You eat carbs, glucose enters your blood. That signals your pancreas to release insulin. Now think of insulin as a key, or maybe like a delivery driver. Its primary job is to go to your muscle and liver cells, unlock the door, and let the glucose move out of the bloodstream and into the cells to be stored as that useful glycogen we were just talking about. This isn't a bad thing. It's a vital, healthy process for refueling your body.
And that brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? The one that's the source of so much fear. If you eat a potato, does it just magically get converted into body fat? The answer, and I want to be really clear on this, is rarely. Your body is actually pretty terrible at turning carbohydrates into fat. The whole process is super inefficient, it takes a ton of energy, and it's basically a last-ditch effort that only really happens in some pretty extreme situations, like massively overeating carbs for a long, long time.
So here's the bottom line. It's not about the carbs themselves, it's about the bigger picture. Fat gain is driven by a consistent calorie surplus. That's it. Think about it like a gas tank in a car. If you keep pouring more fuel in, doesn't matter if it's from carbs, fat, or protein, more fuel than the engine is burning, what's going to happen? Eventually, the tank overflows. That overflow is what gets stored as body fat. Blaming carbs is like blaming the gasoline when the real issue is you just kept pumping after the tank was full.
This right here leads us to a way more useful conversation. Instead of asking if carbs are good or bad, we should be asking about the quality of the carbs we're eating. Because trust me, not all carbs are created equal. So, on one side, you have these high-quality carbs from whole foods. I'm talking stuff packed with fiber, which slows everything down and keeps you feeling full. Plus, they have vitamins and minerals. They give you that slow-burn energy. Then, on the other side, you've got refined carbs. These have been processed and stripped of all the good stuff, the fiber and nutrients. They give you that quick energy spike, but not much else. That's why people call them empty calories.
When you focus on quality, managing the quantity becomes a whole lot easier.
Okay, so we've got the science down. Let's talk about how to actually use this stuff. For anyone who is active, carbs aren't just food, my friend. They are a strategic tool for better performance.
You can absolutely use carb timing to give yourself an edge. Eating some carbs an hour or two before you train, that helps top off those muscle glycogen stores, making sure the tank is full for a tough workout. And then afterward, eating carbs helps refill what you just burned, which kickstarts the entire recovery and repair process. Now your total intake for the day is still king, but smart timing, that can give you a really noticeable boost.
So, the big question, how many carbs do you need? Well, it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all number. The single biggest factor that determines your carb needs is your activity level. Simple as that. You have to match your fuel intake to your engine's output.
Now this table gives some fantastic evidence-based starting points. The numbers are all based on grams of carbs per kilogram of your body weight. So let's walk through this. If you're lightly active, maybe some skill work or low-intensity stuff, you're in that 3 to 5 gram range. But look what happens when you train moderately for about an hour a day. Your needs jump up to 5 to 7 grams. If you're training hard for 3 to 4 hours, now you're looking at 6 to 10 grams. And an elite athlete? They could need 8 to 12 grams per kilogram, which can be more than double what a lightly active person needs. The message couldn't be clear. The more you move, the more fuel you need.
And just to make this super practical for you, here's the quick math. Just take your weight in pounds, divided by 2.2, and that's your weight in kilograms. From there, you can use that number to figure out your own personal carb target for the day.
So let's just boil this all down into 3 simple rules. Number 1, focus on quality. Build the foundation of your diet on things like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. 2, match quantity to your activity. Your carb needs aren't set in stone. They go up and down with your training. And number 3, stop fearing carbs. Seriously, start seeing them for what they really are, an incredibly powerful tool for fueling your workouts and your life.
So there you have it, the science, the strategy. The question was never really about whether carbs are good or bad. The real question is this: now that you actually understand how your engine works, how are you going to choose to fuel it?